So you're thinking about making the move to Jacksonville Beach, Florida, but you don't know where to start, and you want to know the ins and outs, the insider advantages, and all the tips. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to give you my top 3 places to grab a bite to eat in Jax Beach. My name's Alice Toy with Compass Real Estate, and every day I get calls from people just like you who are looking to make the move to Jacksonville. So whether you're moving next week, next month, or next year, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email so that I can help you make the smooth move to Jacksonville too. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to go over all the ins and outs and the things that you need to know about making the move to Jacksonville Beach. I'm going to dive in by jumping into a Google map so I can show you everything that you need to know about moving here. All right, first I'm going to share my screen with you and give you just the general idea of the location of where Jacksonville Beach actually is. So of course it's located along the ocean, so it's on the east coast of Duval County. And what you can see here is that it's south of Neptune Beach. And let me zoom out just a tiny bit here. And it is north of Ponte Vedra Beach. So south of Neptune Beach, north of Ponte Vedra Beach, and Ponte Vedra Beach here and Jacksonville Beach, their dividing line here is actually a division line between the two counties. So Jacksonville Beach is located in Duval County and Ponte Vedra Beach is located in St. Johns County. So what I want to point out here is just this red dashed line that outlines the actual location of Jacksonville Beach. And I just want to show you that over here, the red line does not go across the intercoastal, but technically, let me draw it on here. Technically, this area here is also considered to be Jacksonville Beach, although if you were to live in this location, it would not be as easy to get to the ocean because you would have to cross the intercoastal waterway. But if you live in this area, technically your zip code is the 32250 zip code for Jacksonville Beach, and you are also zoned for the Jacksonville Beach schools. All right, next I just want to break down the area of Jacksonville Beach and how it's broken down into different little pockets. And so I want to point out this road right here, which is Beach Boulevard. So this is also called 90. So if you see 90 or if you see signs for Beach Boulevard, they are the same thing. And this road is actually the dividing line between, if you live here, what we would consider North Jax Beach. So this would be North Jax Beach up here. And then we would consider this area down here to be South Jax Beach. And then the next dividing line that you need to know about is A1A or 3rd Street. So when you are in Jacksonville Beach, you are going to see signs for 3rd Street, but this is also called A1A. As soon as you get back down here into St. Johns County or Ponte Vedra Beach, the signs for 3rd Street will go away and you'll see signs for A1A again. But again, 3rd Street and A1A are the same road. And so this is the next big dividing road that you need to know about because this kind of divides us between our northeast. So over here, we would call this northeast Jax Beach, and then this would be northwest. And over here, this would be the southeast portion. And over here would be the southwest portion. And the reason it's divided that way is because 3rd Street is the major road that runs through Jacksonville Beach. So it's got everything that you need on there. Your grocery stores are there, a lot of restaurants, the tire store is located on here. So again, this is your main drag and it's a dividing line. And so if you were to buy a house here, it is an important dividing line that as a distinction between the northeast, northwest side and the southeast and southwest side, because if you like to go to the beach and you live over here versus living over here, you're gonna have to cross this major highway. So this is a 4-lane highway with a median in between. There's lots of stoplights, there's lots of crosswalks to be able to cross safely, but this is a major divider between being able to, if you live over here, and being able to get out to the beach. So it's an important thing to know because you'll notice if you're looking for homes that if the home is over here on the west side of 3rd Street versus the east side of 3rd Street, you're going to notice a big jump in prices because it is so much easier to access the beach from this side. The last road that I want to point out here is this road right here. And this one is called JTB or 202 or Butler Boulevard. So this one has a couple of different names. Like if you heard me say Butler, JTB, or 202, they would all mean the same thing. And that's this road right here. And the reason I want to point this road out is because this is a little bit different than Beach Boulevard up here. Beach Boulevard is a major highway. It's probably got about 3 lanes on either side at any given point, at least 2 lanes on each side with a median in between. The speed limit goes from 35 to 45, and there's plenty of stoplights on this road. So the reason I'm saying that is because Butler Boulevard is a highway that the speed limit is 65 miles an hour. So These are your main outlets to be able to get out to 295 and to go further west into Jacksonville. And so it's really awesome to be able to have access to this highway that doesn't have any stoplights on it, because you can really get out to West Jacksonville from the beaches so much quicker because we have access to this highway down here. Next road that we're going to talk about here is Penman Road. So Penman Road is another dividing road that's important to just pay attention to. It is parallel to 3rd Street. And just like I told you about earlier, how in Northeast Jacks Beach versus the North, so when you're east of 3rd Street versus west of 3rd Street, you're going to see a difference in prices. And that's because you would need to cross this major road to be able to get out to the beach. Same thing for Penman. So Penman's going to be another one of those roads where if you're going to live on this side of Penman, you're going to find a home that's a little bit more affordable. And the reason is because now you have to cross two. And Penman's not as major of a road as 3rd Street. On Penman, it is still a 2-lane road, but they are trying to do, I think right now they actually are trying to widen it and get approval for it to be widened. But it is a busy road, and the reason is because it is parallel to 3rd Street, and it takes you from Jacksonville Beach into Neptune Beach, up into Atlantic Beach, into Mayport. So it is a busy road, especially in the mornings or especially in the afternoons when school's letting out. So living over here versus living in the middle here, having to cross those two roads, you're gonna see a difference in prices between homes that are the same size here, here, and here. Okay, so now let's go down to South Jacks Beach and give you another important road here that's a dividing road. So for South Jacks Beach, your other dividing road that's going to be important to know about here is this road right here. It's called 9th Street, but right around 16th Avenue South, it changes into South Beach Parkway. And so again, like with North Jacks Beach, in South Jacks Beach, you're going to see a difference in pricing if you're on the east side of 3rd Street, if you're in this area here versus being on this side of 9th Street or South Beach Parkway. And the reason is you're just getting further away from the beach, and the further away you get from the beach, you're just going to see an improvement in prices per square foot. In Jacksonville Beach, what you'll notice is that the streets are all numbered, and they either run north and south or they run east and west. And so remember I talked earlier about how this is 3rd Street? Well, over here next to it would be 2nd Street, and then you have 1st Street. And so all of the streets, again, they run north to south. And then you have the avenues that are numbered. So we would have 1st Street here, then we would have 2nd Street, then it's 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th Street, and so on. Now there are some differences where there's some different road names that are names like Patricia Lane, but in general, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on. And then when we start going east to west, like right here, you would have 1st Avenue North, 2nd Avenue North, 3rd Avenue North. And so they would go up from 1 going north. So you would have 1st Avenue North, 2nd Avenue North. And if you're going south, it would go the same way. So then here we would have 1st Avenue South, 2nd Avenue South. And again, the avenues run east to west and the streets run north to south. So once you kind of start making sense of how the streets work here, it actually makes sense, and it makes it easier to find things when you know the address of them. Okay, next thing I just want to show you quickly is the 2 elementary schools that will be zoned if you live here at the beaches. So if you live in the Jacksonville Beach area, here you can see this is the North Jacks Beach area that we talked about. Now it does include a little bit of South Jacksonville Beach, and then South Jacksonville Beach is here. But as you can see earlier, like I talked about when we were on the Google map and it had the red outline, it did not include this area called Isle of Palms. But like I said earlier, Isle of Palms is included in the Jacksonville Beach zip code, and you are zoned for the Jacksonville Beach school system if you live over here. So in North Jacks Beach, you have San Pablo Elementary, and in South Jacks Beach, you have Seabreeze Elementary. Now there is another school, and that's called Jacksonville Beach Elementary. However, that's a magnet school. So no matter where you live in Jacksonville Beach, you would not be zoned for Jacksonville Beach Elementary. That's a magnet school where you would have to apply to be able to get in. So you would either be zoned down here for Seabreeze Elementary or up here for San Pablo Elementary. Now, both of these schools are zoned as a B+ according to niche.com, and they are also, and if you attend these schools, so if you live here in Jacksonville Beach, you're also zoned for Duncan U. Fletcher Middle and Duncan U. Fletcher High School. So the middle school also is rated as a B+ on niche.com as of the recording of this video. And Duncan U. Fletcher High School is one of the highly rated high schools in Duval County, and it does have an A- rating. So let's head back over to our Google Maps. Okay, We broke down the area and you got a picture of all of the different ways to understand how Jax Beach is laid out. So we have the North Jax Beach, we have South Jax Beach, Northeast and Southeast, and the major dividing roads. So 3rd Street or A1A, we have 9th Street or South Beach Parkway, depending on where you are. We have Penman Road up here. This is Beach Boulevard or 90. And then down here we have JTB, John Turner Butler Boulevard, or 202, whatever you want to call it. Okay, next thing that I want to talk about within moving to Jacksonville Beach is just the type of home that you can expect to find here in our community. So Jacksonville Beach is established. It has been around for a long time. So you can expect to find homes that were built as early as the 1940s. Now there's not as many of those left around, which is a good thing. But you can find homes from the 1940s to the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and on, even to new construction today. In North Jacksonville Beach, you're going to find a lot of condos on the ocean front. There's not that many houses that are single family houses along the ocean front here, but you're also going to find the hotels up here in North Jax Beach. So North Jax Beach is going to be more of the touristy part of Jax Beach, where you're going to find hotels. You're going to find a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the bars, a lot of those things to do. In South Jax Beach, there actually are no hotels. So if you're looking for a more residential area where you're not going to see as much of that touristy action in the summer, then you might want to consider South Jax Beach. So South Jax Beach also has a lot of condos along the ocean front, but down here, you're more likely to find a home that's on the ocean. That's just a single family home, you know, maybe with 2,500 square feet or so. So you're more likely to find that down in this area here. So in this entire area of Jacksonville Beach, there are only 5 communities that have HOAs. So that's one of the nice things, I think, well, I guess depending on what you think. I actually live in Jacksonville Beach. And one of the things that I love about it is that we do not have an HOA where I live. And I like that just for the fact of, I know that I don't have to worry about someone telling me what to do. I don't have to pay those dues. So that's what I like about living in this area. However, there are a few communities that are located in South Jax Beach that do have an HOA. All right, so right around in this area here, you have a community called Ashley Woods. And here we have a community called Ocean Terrace. And along South Beach Parkway here, we have a community called Ocean Cay. And we also have a community here that's called Riptide. And we have a community here where you can see all this water, and this one is called the Sanctuary. So in the entire North and South Jacksonville Beach area, these are the only communities that have an HOA. And so Ashley Woods are homes that have been built in the late 90s. Same for Ocean Cay here. Riptide is about the same, probably the 90s, early 2000s. And here in Ocean Terrace, you can find homes that were built in 2016, 2017. And then in the Sanctuary here, you're gonna find homes that are built probably roughly in the early 90s to late 90s. Now, here at the Sanctuary and here at Ocean Cay, these are the only 2 communities other than condos, because condos are, I'm treating those differently. Other than condos, these are the only 2 communities at the beach that actually have a pool in their community. So if you're looking to live at the beach and you were hoping that your community would have a pool, then these 2 are about your only 2 options, unless you're gonna go for a condo that has a pool. Okay, otherwise, other than these communities that were built and they were planned communities, in North and South Jax Beach, you can expect to find really an eclectic mix of homes. So cottages that are about 1,000 square feet, cinder block homes that were built in the 1950s. You can find anything from that to a brand new construction home that's 3,500 square feet. And really, they're going to be peppered in with each other. There's no street really that misses one of those characters, just because there were so many vacant lots here for such a long time, because Jacksonville Beach just recently in the last 20 to 30 years has really started to become a place where people have moved to. So you're gonna notice that pretty much on every street that you drive, you're gonna see an eclectic mix of homes. All right, the last thing I just would say overall about making the move to this area is just deciding what kind of lifestyle that you want, and then your budget may have an impact on where you go from there. So if you know that you want to be right on the ocean or just a couple blocks away, you don't want anything stopping you from getting to the beach in the mornings, then you may want to consider living on this east side of 3rd Street so that you're not having to cross that road every morning. You know, back here, as you get further and closer to the intercoastal, you're going to want to start thinking about flood insurance. So along the intercoastal and all of these 3 streets right here that are east of 3rd Street, they all require flood insurance if you are financing your property. So that's another thing that you want to consider. In the middle here, if you live in this sweet spot in the middle, no flood insurance is required. You can always get some if you want it, but you don't have to have it. So I think deciding, what kind of lifestyle do you want? And then also, do you want to be up here in this part of Jax Beach where it is going to be a more lively scene? So personally for me, as a mom with kids and a family, we live in this South Jax Beach area, like right around here, and it's a lot more quiet and we love that. So if you prefer to be up here and you want to be in the scene and you want to be walking distance and biking distance to all of the fun restaurants and bars that Jax Beach has to offer, then this would be a great area for you to live. But if you want something a little bit more quiet, then you're going to want to live a little bit back over here or down in South Jax Beach. The one thing I would say is, like, even if you're in South Jax Beach, there's still plenty of biking and walking to be able to go places. So you can bike out to the beach, walk out to the beach. You could go to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. All of those things are down here. So it still is a very, very walkable and bikeable neighborhood. And of course, if you want a golf cart, then this is a great place to own a golf cart to be able to run around and go to the grocery store or to the pharmacy in your golf cart. Lastly, I will talk about Isle of Palms. And so Isle of Palms is, like I said, technically zoned for the beaches. So if you're wanting to be zoned for the beaches schools and that's important to you, or you still want to be close to the beach, then Isle of Palms is a great place to look, because throughout here, as you can see, there are quite a few canals here. So if you're looking for a canal front home, or if you want a home that has river access so that you can get to the intercoastal to be able to get to the St. Johns River or to the ocean, then this would be a great place to look. There's plenty of homes in here that don't have waterfront access. You could find a home that is in a little community or not in an HOA. There's all kinds of, again, this is very similar to the beach here where it's an eclectic mix of homes, but here you could also find something that has a boat slip that you could get out to the intercoastal too. So it's also a great place to look if being zoned for the beaches schools is something that you want to consider. Okay, the last thing that I want to share with you is just some of the commute times that you can expect to find at the beach to some of the most popular places that people are either working or moving, or that's the reason they're moving here, is to work at these places. Some of the commute times that you could expect, or if you're going to go downtown to a Jags game, how long is it going to take for you to get there? Or if you need to go to the airport, how long is that going to take? So let's plug a few of these in so that you can see how long that's going to take you. The first place that we're going to look is Mayport Naval Station. And so before we go into that, I guess what I would point out is if you are down in this area here, or even like sort of anywhere in this area, versus being in this part of Jacksonville Beach, your commute times are going to look a little bit different. And that's because of the access to 202. So I mentioned this earlier, but 202 is a highway with a speed limit of 65 miles per hour. And like I said, I live down here in South Jax Beach, and I can tell you that having such close access to this highway, which goes west and connects into 295, it really shortens my time to popular places. So if I'm going to the airport or if I'm going downtown, because I don't have to fight traffic or go through any of the stoplights on Beach Boulevard, and I have access to this road really quickly, it cuts my commute time to those places, well, considerably. So I love having the quick access to this road and just the minutes that it shaves off my drive time when I'm going downtown, airport, anywhere west, really. Okay, I'm gonna use this Circle K right here because this is a good medium point, because it really is on the dividing line of North and South Jax Beach. And what I'm gonna do is show you how long it would take you to get to Mayport Naval Station if you were to live in the general area of Jacksonville Beach. Okay, so right now, as you can see, we've got about a 22-minute drive. So if you're in South Jax Beach, you're gonna add a little bit of time to that, but the best way from Jacksonville Beach to get to Mayport is to take Penman Road, which I showed you earlier. That connects to Florida Boulevard, and then that one connects you to Mayport Road, which takes you all the way to Mayport Naval Station. So again, about a 22-minute drive. If we were looking, so it's about 2:33, which is probably a good time because there probably are some schools getting out right now. So this would be a pretty accurate timeline of like what it would look like to commute this way when it's a little bit congested. However, if you were entering the base at 7:30 or 8 o'clock when a lot of other people were, you probably would need to add maybe an extra 10 to 15 minutes to that commute time. Okay, so let's take a look from Jacksonville Beach out to NAS Jax. So from the beaches out to NAS Jacks, again, it's going to depend on where you are. So what I'm going to do is actually move this over here so it's more accurate here. So depending on where you live in Jacks Beach is going to tell you which way to take. So in this instance, it's saying, hey, go down 9th Street, take out Butler Boulevard. That's going to connect you to 295. And then you're going to go over here and cross the Buckman Bridge and go to the base. And so right now it's about a 33-minute drive. And as long as you don't hit any traffic, this is probably a pretty accurate drive. The only thing I would say is that on 295, things can get just backed up and you never know when, and it just happens, and it might add an extra 20 minutes to your commute. But in general, about a 35-minute drive from the beaches out to NAS Jacks. Okay, let's take a look at the airport now. All right, so from the beach to the airport, and again, this would depend on if you live in North Jacks Beach or South Jacks Beach. If you live in North Jacks Beach, you would take Beach Boulevard out to 295 and you would head up that way. And then you would hit 95 for just a little bit, and then you're pretty much at the airport, and that's got you at about, right now, about a 37-minute drive. If you're like me and you live in South Jacks Beach, see what I said? So I mentioned this earlier if you watched the whole video, but if you live in South Jacks Beach, because we are so close to this highway right here, 202, it does shave off some time. It doesn't make the distance any shorter, but it shaves off time because there are no stoplights on this road. You are on highways all the way until you get to the airport. So lots of construction up here by the airport. We're at 295, just before you get to the 95 interchange. Hopefully that'll be done soon. Okay, next, let's take a look at the commute to Mayo Clinic. Just again, another major place. So Mayo Clinic is really, really close to Jacksonville Beach. I actually, my daughter's daycare is across from the Mayo Clinic, and 7 to 8 minutes is about the drive it would take. If you live in North Jacks Beach, I would say add 5 to 7 minutes, just depending on what part of North Jacks Beach that you live in. You probably would add 5 to 7 minutes to that commute time, just because you're gonna have more lights to get through. Okay, last one, let's take a look at the beaches to downtown. So from the beach, from Jacksonville Beach to the downtown area is gonna be about a 23-minute drive. And again, I am looking at this at 2:36 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. So this is gonna be before rush hour starts, like the afternoon rush hour starts. So if it's during rush hour, it's probably gonna add a little bit of time to that in the morning or in the afternoon, because you're probably gonna hit some traffic here when you cross the bridges in the downtown area. It's just gonna be a little bit slower. You're not gonna be able to go as fast as you normally would when it's the rush hour time. So about 23 minutes at any given time. And so that's about, honestly, you know, if you're at the beach, if you're in North Jacks, because I have this set for South Jacks Beach. Let's put it at North Jacks Beach and see what it is. So look here, it gives you 3 different options even. So you can go, if you're in somewhere in North Jacks Beach, you could take Beach Boulevard out, you could take Butler Boulevard out, but really it's about a 30-minute drive to downtown, which again is gonna get you to the Jaguars, it's gonna get you to the baseball games if you go to that, or if you're working down there. So about a 30-minute drive from the beaches. The real last thing that I want to share is 3 of my favorite places to grab a bite to eat in Jacksonville Beach. So the first one is great. I'm going to show you. This is great for date night, girls' night, or if you just want to go to the bar and sit and have a drink by yourself. This is a fantastic place to go, and it's called So Napa Grill. Okay, So Napa Grill, located in South Jacks Beach, and I haven't had anything on the menu that I don't like. So I was talking to the manager one day, and my sister and I had ordered the mushroom and beef raviolis, and he told us that they actually won an award at the St. Augustine Food Festival earlier that year. And I can see why they would, because they're really good. Again, pretty much everything I've had on that menu is super good. So that's my first recommendation for you. The next place is your go-to place for seafood. So this is called Dockside Seafood Restaurant. And what I love about this place is the seafood is awesome, but you also get a view. So this is located on the Intercoastal Waterway, and it's also where there is a boat marina. So there's plenty of boats to look at. My son loves to watch the people that are bringing their boat in to put their boat into the water, because the boat ramp is right there. He loves watching people put their boats in or get their boats out of the water. So not only do you get great seafood, you get a cool view with it. And I love this place. Trust me, there's more. This is probably just like my top 3 recommendations for you. And I just wanted to cover some bases. So we got seafood, date night. And next I'm going to talk about sandwiches. So I am from Pennsylvania. I love a good cheesesteak, and Surfwiches, which is located off of Penman Road, which you should know where it is by now. Surfwiches has the best cheesesteak that I've had here in Jacksonville. It is Pennsylvania Girl approved, and their other sandwiches are great as well. So I've also had the Italian hoagie. Love it. It's a good place to go. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned everything you need to know. Move to Jax Beach. You're going to love it. I'll see you in the next one.